Hi, I'm Gordon, owner and chef of Mara Fish Bar and Deli in the small village of Corrie on the Isle of Arran. Today I'm going to show you one of our signature dishes, the fish tacos. So for the fish tacos, in Mara we use fresh whiting, which is, I would say, almost identical to haddock. The reason we use whiting is because it's a more sustainable fish, which is kind of our philosophy at Mara. A bone running through the middle, which I've already cut out. And then the next step is we salt it for about 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, just in some sea salt. So we'll leave that to one side for 20 minutes while we get the rest of the dish ready. So our next step while we're waiting for the fish to salt is we make our garlic sauce, which goes on the bottom of the taco shells. So in here we have 130 grams of peeled garlic, and we also have 5 grams of salt. So what we do next is just give that a little blend, and we keep blending it. Pulling it down the sides, and you want to get it till it becomes finely minced. So just keep doing that. This may seem like a lot of garlic, but when it comes together it's not too intense and it does work with the tacos. So now we've got the garlic minced to the stage we want it to. The next step is we're going to put the lid on and just add 2 lemons juiced, and we'll add a couple of teaspoons at a time. We want that to basically blend further down with a bit of moisture in it. Again, you'll have to keep taking the lid off and pulling it down from the sides. So now we've added another touch of lemon juice, and we'll just let that mince down a bit further. It should be becoming more like a puree by now. And the next step will be what we have here is 600 grams or 600 millilitres of rapeseed oil. A vegetable oil or something along those lines would work just as well. What we'll do is slowly pour in the oil, alternating with some more lemon juice. Just a little bit at a time. Too fast and you may split it. So just very slowly, almost like making a mayonnaise. So after adding a bit more oil, add a touch more lemon juice again, just to soften it down again, and then we'll keep going with some more oil, and just keep doing this until the lemon juice is finished. And once you've done it alternating with the lemon juice, have 60 millilitres of iced water, or very cold water, ready. And then we'll alternate with the oil and a bit of water. And once all those ingredients are combined, that'll be your garlic sauce. It does seem like a lot of effort, but it's definitely worth it. Now all the lemon juice is incorporated along with the oil, and start adding some water in the same way we did with the lemon juice and the oil. And then just keep doing that basically till the oil and all the water is incorporated. So the finished product after doing all of that should look something like this. It should be well emulsified, and it is a lot. Like for the tacos that we're doing, you'll only need a little smear of it, but it does keep for a long time, so you can use it for plenty of other things, or for more fish tacos if you're making them, or just half the recipe of what I've given you. But that is basically what you want in the end. So our next step to do is the fish should be salted for about 20-25 minutes. So in preparation for it getting rinsed and dried off, you make the spice rub for it, which is basically 15 grams of gram flour, which is a chickpea flour. We use that for making it gluten-free for customers, but you can use a normal plain flour if you don't have any gram flour. 10 grams of smoked paprika, 10 grams of garlic powder, 10 grams of cumin, 5 grams of dried oregano, and 5 grams of ground coriander. Mix that all together, and when your fish is rinsed, rinse it under the tap, thoroughly rinse it, make sure there isn't any salt left on it, dry it with a bit of kitchen towel, and then we'll cut it into small pieces and dust it in the dry rub, and it should look something like this. So for each taco, I tend to use about 3 bits of fish. The next step, we've got 100 grams of gram flour here. We're going to make the taco shells. So in a bowl, we've got 100 grams of gram flour, and then we have 5 grams of paprika, 5 grams of cumin, just plain paprika this time, not smoked paprika, 5 grams of cumin, and 5 grams of table salt. And put that in with the gram flour. Got a wee stir around. And then what we're going to do, I think you probably want to have about roughly 200 mils of water, but what to do is just fill your jug with cold water and add till we get the right consistency. So just keep whisking that in, just add a little bit of time. Don't, if you go too far, then obviously it'll be too runny, you'll need to add more gram flour. Give that a good mix to start with. Keep adding more at a time, a little bit at a time. That's almost there. Don't want it to be too thick, too thin. It essentially is like a pancake mix, so you know if it's too thick, you're going to have very thick taco shells. But at the same time, if it's too thin, you're going to have far too thin as well. But they are soft taco shells that we would have made, so I'd say that's pretty much spot on. Maybe just a touch more. Your taco mix. So now we've got the whiting that's been rinsed and dried and then put into the dry rub. So just a bit of oil in a tray. You usually have the oven at about 200 degrees. So that's usually about 2 portions, but it's up to yourself, so you decide how much you want in your tacos and how big your tacos are. Frost and marrow, which is about 3 bits per taco. Just stick them in the oven. I would put them in for a couple of minutes, then take them out, turn them over so they get colour on the other side, and then back in the oven for another couple of minutes, about 5 minutes in the oven. So next, while we're waiting for the fish to cook in the oven, get a pan nice and hot with a touch of oil. We've got our taco shell mix here, and all you do is, once it's nice and hot, good big spoonful, depending how big you want your taco shells to be, and just carefully, nice round circle. If you've got too much oil in there, the mix will tend to catch and not stick as you're shaping it, so just watch how much oil, and obviously if the pan's not hot enough, it will stick as well. So it is essentially like a pancake, so wait till the bubbles start to appear, and then you'll turn it over, cook it on the other side. So a couple of minutes, and I'm just going to turn the fish over just so that the dry mix kind of cooks and gets crispy on both sides. So after you make your taco shells, the fish should be pretty much ready. So then we're just going to put it all together. So with 2 tacos, not too much of the garlic sauce, otherwise it can overpower everything, but just enough to smear around the whole taco shell. And what we have here is some shallots, some mint, some flat leaf parsley and some chives. Just add a wee bit of salt, pepper and a touch of red wine vinegar. And then we'll just give it a wee toss around. Just place it nicely onto your taco shells. And then finally, we just add on our fish. Like I said, it's up to you how big you make it. Like we use 3 bits of fish per taco, and then we just serve it up in our boxes, ready for summer tea, sitting on the waterfront. Hopefully it stays together. And that's your tacos. But just to prove how good they are, I'll leave them for you.